Welcome, Kai, to Talking Who.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
It's been an action-packed weekend, could we say?
It's been crazy. I'm exhausted. Well deserved, this is. It's been amazing. For those of you who haven't been to the MCM Expo memorabilia, I highly recommend it because it's a hell of a weekend here. The fans have been incredible, and some of the sights I've seen is, well, mind-blowing. The costumes and the dressing up, the cosplay that they call it. Whoa, enormous, amazing.
And some of these guys have been actually working all year round, the entire year, making this costume just for this weekend.
I know, bless them. The dedication of them is amazing. They live for this weekend. They meet friends here. You know, they meet people annually at these events, and I think it's great. It's a common ground for them all. It's somewhere that they can come and escape. It's somewhere they can come and be silly for the weekend. You know, they might all have job. They're going back to their jobs tomorrow morning. There's probably doctors, nurses, lawyers, working a bank, but for one weekend of a year, they can just be crazy and silly and dress up and meet weird, crazy actors as well, kind of thing. And I think it's wonderful for them. Good on them.
When you first got the job in Torchwood as a jobbing actor, were you quite prepared for the craziness that surrounds a sci-fi series?
Not at all. Not at all. Although after the first read-through, John Barrowman, he kind of said, you know, oh, you'll be asked to go to a few conventions, and you know they're worth going to because they're wonderfully crazy. And we didn't know what the reaction was going to be of Torchwood or anything, so we weren't really expecting anything massively. And I didn't really do one for. I actually didn't do one until after filming Series 2. My first one was in the GMEX in Manchester, Collectormania. And yeah, mind-blowing how many people turned up and say hello to me. You're like, what? Just crazy.
Well, you just had your panel earlier this afternoon, and it was great just seeing you after the panel ended. You were just up there, and just the fans were just mobbing. Yeah,
they are so lovely. I mean, it's crazy. It's good. You know, they're just, Torchwood fans are the best fans in the world, I've got to say. They're so lovely, they're so loyal, and they love the show. They want the show to come back bigger and better every time, and we really want it to come back bigger and better every time as well as cast members. And if you can't take 5 minutes just to give them all a hug and give them a photo, sign a little thing for them, answer the question, you know, you're in the wrong game, because we make the show for the fans. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fans.
This is something I was discussing with Alexa. Is it quite common with Torchwood actors that when you get a new script, you read the last scene first?
Yeah, totally, yeah. Towards the end of the season, when you start getting delivered episode 7, 8 or 9 kind of thing, going, oh my God. Yeah, totally. Nobody's safe at all. And Rhys, I think, is a very killable character because it works so dramatic. It would work so dramatically for Gwen, you know what I mean? But no, he's managed to dodge a few bullets, Rhys.
If the series continues, I mean, do you think Rhys will have had it here now as far as Torchwood and Gwen? Is this you could actually quite see that perhaps this marriage actually may not go beyond?
I can see that. I would agree with that. I would like to see a new challenge for Rhys, and maybe it's that challenge. Maybe that is the challenge for, you know, because I'd like to do something different with him and not be like on the phone or do the same old, you're not doing what Torchwood, because Rhys, that's common ground for Rhys. Although it's written really well, you know, I'm happy to, because it's always written brilliantly and so emotionally brilliant for Rhys, things like that. I would like to see something a little bit different, like, yeah, maybe a breakup, maybe a real kind of putting his foot down. Well, if you don't, I'm leaving. That's Arlene Tur over there, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful, beautiful actress. Plays Dr. Vera Juarez in Torchwood, Miracle Day.
I guess there's maybe a misconception that your scenes weren't in LA and therefore you weren't actually there, but you were.
My mates, I said in the panel, my mates don't believe me that I went to LA. I wasn't allowed to get a tan for a start because you could have a pasty Welsh boy in there, and everything that you see Rhys doing exterior-wise, all the exterior shots, all the scenes when he's outside running with Gwen, and you know, whenever you see Rhys outside, all shot in Wales. Whenever you see Rhys inside, in the house, in the hospitals, all shot in LA.
Was there any training for like truck driving scenes?
No massive training. No, I think I'm just on the limit that I can drive a certain size. I think with my normal sort of license, but I need to have a few little practices before I go, like because the brakes are so like springy and so hard. The brakes, when you literally got to tap them and it stops. So there's a few jerks, like and a few like false starts, you know, and no, few little takes, few little practice runs, and yeah, I don't really drive very far.
Are there any deleted scenes with Rhys?
Not that I know. Not that I know of a Miracle Day. Not that I know of. There is a lovely deleted scene in Children of Earth that never made the final cut, and it's just before, and it's just when it's when they're all in the fake hub that they remake, I think, and they move to the sort of like in the hangar, and Rhys knows that Jack's found out that Gwen's pregnant. Oh, and he goes, oh, just him before me. Always. Why did he know before me? All this, that, and the other. And Rhys storms off. Well, there was a little scene there between Gwen and Rhys where she kind of gets him down again. Okay, don't worry. And he goes, I want my mum. I don't like being on the run. And that was a really charming, beautiful scene with me and Eve. And I know it was shot well. I knew it was pleased. I knew they were pleased with the scene. But it didn't make the final cut, which sometimes it doesn't. So I'd like to see that one actually.
In the early days of Torchwood, the single episodes, were these something that you actually prefer, or do you actually now like the longer stories?
Totally love the longer story arc. For me, season 1 and 2 were very good, but Children of Earth just smashed it. One big story, brilliant. Miracle Day, awesome.
And with Children of Earth, which actually I think is probably one of the greatest science fiction series that's ever been on TV, British television especially. The passion that the fans, I think, have for this one. Do you think Miracle Day was always going to have a hard act to follow?
Yep, I think so. I think you're absolutely spot on there. I think Children of Earth was groundbreaking. Children of Earth was brilliant. And it was a hard act to follow. They had to do something different. They had to do something bigger. They had to do something better. They had to take it onto another level. Whether it was a better, whether it was better, like you know, the story, or because the 5 nights worked a treat over 1 week. Whether it was a better format, but they had to come back with a bigger story and a bigger, a new reinvented kind of series and a freshness to it. And it's what Russell does so well. They do that with Torchwood. Torchwood is always reinventing itself. The first series, 1 to the week. Second series was better than the first series because they knew where they'd gone wrong with it, and they just had to. And the episodes were better and stuff. And there was a little bit of a storyline through a few episodes when Bern Gorman had sort of lost his soul and was kind of dead but not dead kind of thing. You know what I mean? And then that worked. And then with Children of Earth, it came back again. You know, went from BBC 3 to BBC 2 to BBC 1, and Children of Earth came back massive, strong, so powerful, and like broke all the records that week. And then when we had a bit of a break, what is going to happen with Miracle Day? That's come back with an American cast on board, American money, a huge storyline. You know, so Torchwood is always constantly reinventing itself and always trying to better itself. When it comes back for Series 5, if it comes back for Series 5, it'll be different again. It'll be bigger again. It'll be better again because it'll be different, but still be Torchwood. You know.
With all the drama that's now in Cardiff and Doctor Who and Torchwood, I mean, has Cardiff changed? Is there a completely different atmosphere as far as actors and the cast and crew and producers and directors?
I think there's a lot of work down there. Yeah, Being Human is moved down there, and Casualty's down there now, and obviously Doctor Who, and you know there is, and there's still Welsh language stuff getting shot there. A lot of Welsh language, good quality Welsh language drama series getting shot down there. It does give the local work, you know, local crew especially, you know, the crews, because they don't necessarily employ all Welsh. Don't necessarily have to be Welsh to work there. Certainly not in Doctor Who. Certainly not in Casualty. Certainly not in Being Human. Happens to be shot there, great, you know. So a lot of English, British actors are just staying in Cardiff during the week while shooting their series down there. You know, Torchwood, Amy and Eve really, and Tom Price that are Welsh. You know what I mean? Out of the current crop. So yeah, it's given locals work and stuff, and the crews and all that, because the crew, a lot of the local crew are based down there. People from Bristol can come and work there as well. So that's exciting, and it's certainly great for Cardiff as a city, I think, because it's putting it on the map, and Cardiff looks so brilliant on the screen. Them aerial shots in Torchwood going over the Millennium Stadium, oh, bring a tear to my eye, man.
Was there any discussion between you and Eve about the accents for Torchwood Miracle Day?
I think I was told to slow down quite a bit, yeah, because I can talk really quick, and I do tend to get excited and a bit more energy, and actually slow down a bit, because they cannot understand you. I think there's been a few things on the website gone where people don't like the Rhys's performance, and they're going, I can't understand what he's saying, man. You know, so I don't think they can quite get me, because maybe I'm talking in too thick of a Welsh accent or a bit too quick. I'm not too sure if Eve was the case. I think Eve's performance in Miracle Day was her best work yet as Gwen, I think.
Well, I suppose also Torchwood Miracle Day with Wales, you're hopefully going to bring some American tourists to Cardiff as well.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, I think there'll certainly be some tourists going to Rhossili, to that lovely white cottage that at the beginning of episode 1 that we blew up. That looked stunning, that Welsh coastline. Whether or not they'll see much of Cardiff, which is a shame, because that's that Bay area of it it looks glorious on screen. So maybe, because Wales is lovely. Come to Wales.
You've talked in a lot of other interviews about arriving at the Warner lot and just the spectacle of it. But what was it like saying goodbye after it was all complete, production was complete?
Yeah, of course. You know, I knew. You know, when your last day. My last day actually on Torchwood was it was Alexa's funeral, Esther's funeral. That was my last day, and that wasn't actually shot in Warner Brothers. That was on location in a mausoleum out in California somewhere. Yeah, I really cherished every moment that I drove to work. I couldn't believe that I was leaving my apartment in Hollywood. It sounds crazy to say it. And driving myself to Warner Brothers. I had a pass for Warner Brothers. I've still got the pass. I'll never get rid of it. And driving into the Warner Brothers lot, and where magic happens. And every day I would be listening to my music on the way down and stuff, and on the way in. It was only like a 15-minute drive. And I was just so grateful, so thankful for the opportunity, because the sun was shining, and I was playing like lots of Manic Street Preachers music and like stereophonic songs, because I love that anyway. And it was just amazing. Me, a little boy from a little place called Llanrwst, just driving onto the one of those. I cherished and was so grateful for every second of it. And I remember when I knew it was my last day there as well, I really took it all in and went, wow, this has been a blast. If it doesn't happen again, at least I can say I've worked and filmed in Hollywood and Warner Brothers, and I didn't take it for granted 1 second. I never do, no matter what job I'm doing, and I certainly didn't take it for granted on the Warner Brothers lot. I loved it. I went round, had the tour, saw the sets. I was like a kid in a sweet shop. It was just, wow, this is incredible. So grateful.
And finally, you're on Twitter. What's it like to have that daily contact with fans?
Bonkers. I'm addicted to it. My wife isn't happy at all. I need to stop tweeting. I won't, though. I'm at Kai Owen, 2 Kais Owen, at Kai Owen. Follow me for some drunken tweets, mostly about food, football and rugby, actually. Sorry? Oh, are you? Okay, yeah, I'll follow you. French referees. Oh, and French referees, I know, yeah. I know. Oh, God, French referees. Absolutely ruined the interview.
On that note,
listen, I tweet. I'm loving it. It's great. You get the news and all that. I don't buy newspapers anymore. Just tweet and follow people, and you find out who's died overnight. You know what I mean? Instantly. It's a crazy world, and it's a wonderful world. And I think it's a great world that we live in, and I love. I'm not on Facebook, but I just thought I'll try Twitter, and bloody, I'm addicted to it. At Kai Owen.
There you go. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome, mate. Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your support, and I wish you all well. Happy Christmas.